Hello Stampers, I'm going to do another video as part of my using up your 12 by 12 designer series paper. This is a tip that I have taken from Jackie Bullheis, who's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who does videos. It's also been done by other people, but basically their tip is to take 1, 2, or 3 pieces of paper out of a paper pack and cut them into 4 by 6 strips. I have found a paper pack that I bought on the clearance rack and have never used, and I'm going to take these 3 sheets, which have these patterns on the back side. This is the Tea Room Specialty Designer Series paper. And one thing Stampin' Up! Does that makes it really helpful is to come out with, or tell us what colors they've used here. And they list Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Old Olive, Rich Razzleberry, and Berry Vanilla. And amazingly, all of those colors are still current in our catalog. And so I have picked out those colors and we'll use them as card bases or accents. There's the Rich Razzleberry, Crushed Curry, Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Berry Vanilla, and Coastal Cabana. The ones I like the best with the papers I've chosen are the Crushed Curry, Coastal Cabana, and Berry Vanilla. They also coordinate very well with the other side, although I can see where some Calypso Coral in there would be good. So we'll decide what we're doing with the card bases after I show you the method to the madness of cutting your designer series paper into strips. And you can do this with 1 piece. I'm using 3 because it will give me a whole lot of choice. Even 2 pieces gives you a tremendous amount of color combinations. And it all depends on what you have for cardstock. So I'm going to cut these into 4-inch strips. So you get 3 strips. So then I'm going to take this and cut it 4 by 6. So what we have then is a whole bunch of pieces of designer series paper that are cut 4 by 6. The first thing I'm going to do is take them and cut them all down to 5.5. I'm going to use my little paper chopper. I'm going to take about 3 pieces at a time here, and we're going to cut them to 5 1/4 by 4. So they're already at 4. So if we go to 5 1/4, that gives us a 3/4 inch strip here, and this is like a regular card base or card layer. If we take a regular card base, like regular card base, and it that would fit on there just the way it is. So you could do some of your cards just like that. You also end up with a lot of little strips that we can use in a variety of ways. So let me cut down a few more. We're just going to 5 1/4. So now what we have is a whole bunch of strips that are 4 inches long by 3/4 inches wide, and a whole bunch of pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm going to take one of each of my patterns here, and we're going to do this. And now the rest of these cuts, you can decide what kind of cards you're making. You could keep your paper cut just like this, and it'd be ready to work with whenever you need a quick card. But we're going to take these and cut them at 3 inches. And that is one way to do cards. We can also take a set and cut. This is 4 inches. We can cut it vertically at 3 inches. And that'll give us a different thing. We're also going to take a set and cut them diagonally. Now you can do this on a regular print cutter. I am just going to have my points here. Right in the cutting track, and we're going to go diagonal. Okay, so then we're going to get a couple of card bases going here. Okay, the first pieces we're going to work with here are those that we took and we cut at 3 inches. So we have a 3-inch segment and one that is 2 1/4. And these can be mixed and matched to how you like them. So like that would make nice. I think that could be pretty. What's the back of that? And this is just the same piece of paper, and we can go like that. we can take some of the pieces that we the 3/4 inch that we cut off and use them as an accent piece across. Okay, and then we can decide what color cardstock these would look good on. I think this one would go very nicely on the Calypso Coral. Let's try this one on the Coastal Cabana. And how about the Crushed Curry? So you could make those very simply like that. This card also does not have to go vertical. You can make them horizontal. You can go vertical with the smaller piece at the top. So any way you can conceive of that, like you can go horizontal with the smaller piece over here. And then you can put those together and make them into cards. So anyway, those is what I would do with those pieces that were cut at 3 inches and 2 inches, and then this is the 3/4 inch that we cut off. Okay, another thing we can do is take our diagonal pieces and see what we've got. I mean, you could go like that on the card front. Another thing I like on these is you could take them, put them like that on a card front. Or you can even go vertical. I mean, so there's 3 different ways there to use your diagonal pieces. Okay, so then another thing you can do, okay, we also took some and did just 1 inch off the long way, and you can mix and match these and make them, yeah, that needs a little more contrast. You know, maybe even very vanilla would be a good choice, but okay, so you can go that. You can also go horizontal. You can put your pieces kind of like that. And both horizontal and vertical. So there's another easy way to use your 4x6 piece. On these cards, I would definitely probably find a way to use some of these inside, or you could use them on the front. But you don't want to forget all of these pretty pieces. Okay, so that's another way you can use them if you cut 1 inch off of your 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece. Okay, so that was 3 ways to cut them. Another thing you can do, you have all these 3/4 inch pieces. You can line them up. In any configuration you like. Okay, so that's what, 6 of them. You could space them out, or you could put them together. And I don't know, is there room for one more then? If you slid them together, I think you could put 7. But there's an idea with your little strips if you did not use them all in a card. Meanwhile, I'm sure there's just many more ways you can cut your 4x6 pieces of paper. But meanwhile, you can get a lot of cards without a lot of work and even a fair amount of variety. So I'm going to make these into cards, and then I'll come back and share the finished cards with you. Okay, so the next thing I've done to make these cards is I've cut some layering pieces for the inside of our card. So this could end up being inside. Okay, so I cut in all of my colors. I cut these at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I took some vanilla and cut those at 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, and to get extra use out of these inside layers, I'm using my Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I'm going to cut some of the label shapes out of the interior of those pieces of paper so that we can use them for our sentiments and for decoration on the outside of the card. Hello Stampers, I'm back. I have been making and putting together quite a few cards. I did not use real many products. You've already seen the paper. I have 8 sheets left that I did not use. Okay, we started out where we cut 4 by 6, and then we cut 3/4 inch off, which gave us 4 by 5 1/4, which is just your basic layer size. And then after that, I started out that we cut that at 3 inches, which left us a big piece and a smaller piece. And these are the cards that I've made with that cut. We have the 3 inch piece and the 2 1/4 inch piece. You can make them landscape, you can do a variety of things. And then I have put layers on the inside. Okay, I briefly showed you punching a lot, or die cutting a lot of these labels out of some cardstock. I also took the liberty of punching some flowers. These are the punches I used. I believe they're all retired now, but I love my punches. Another thing I did then to make some simple sentiment things, and these were also punched out of those layers that are hidden behind the insides is I did a scallop circle and a 2-inch circle. And you could use a variety of dies, but punches are very fast. So here's 3 of the cards that are made with the first way we cut the paper. Oh, another thing I wanted to show is that I stamped on these and attached them, but you could also leave the sentiments off. And look how easy it would be to change what kind of cards those were. So that's also something to keep in mind. If you're like me, I never have the right sentiment on the perfect card. Okay, so the next way we did cards was to cut diagonally. And I've done 3 cards here with the diagonal pieces. This one, I've just put them so that they cover the whole front. And we put decorated with flowers and stuff. This was more vertical, kind of a curtain look. Put a little bit of baker's twine on there because I had some in the right colors. Used rhinestones. And here's the same pieces, but they're just made into a landscape type card. And just very simple insides. Okay. The next way we cut our paper was we just took 1 inch off of the 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece. And these cards were all made with that layout. Like here we have the bigger piece and that along the side. And I stuck in a little strip of vanilla cardstock there just for a contrast. Here we have the big piece, but we laid our 1-inch piece over the top. And here we went horizontal with the 1-inch piece at the bottom. And I didn't put anything on the inside of that one. But quite a few of them have these little 3/4 inch strips in there that we cut off when we started. I've also used my many messages dies on quite a few of these. I stamped some on vanilla and on Coastal Cabana, and then I just picked and choose sentiments. Okay, then another thing you can do here was, this is just a plain piece, and I put one of our little strips across it, and that is super, super easy. And then we talked a little bit about this one already. This is a whole bunch of the 3/4 inch strips put all on the same card front. So I hope you enjoyed this. If cutting your DSP into 4x6 pieces helps you use it, then it's a good thing to do. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you another day.